All right, good morning. I got a email on my YouTube from Tech360NG asking a little bit more about Zurb Foundation. And like I said before, if there's something I can do to try to help out people move further along in their thing, I will. Um, Up to that time, I had not downloaded the new version. I was still working off version 1. Now they're at like 2.14 or something. So I downloaded that, and that's kind of what I'm firing up from. I'll start a little bit further back just so you can kind of see where we were or where we are. Um, I downloaded their base index, and let's see. Of course, I got it hidden somewhere back here. There you go. Too many windows open. All right, so I got their base foundation here. I got from their site. Um, I downloaded it. Excuse me. This is the docs. This is the one I downloaded. Sorry, this is the one I downloaded from their site. So basically, starting right from the very beginning. Now, in case you're wondering, I'm using Aptana, and some of it, when you see me coding, it will look a little strange because I'm going to do little Zen coding. I don't do a lot. I'm not that good on it, but I do a little bit just to speed things up. So we'll kind of do the same thing on this, just so that when you see some strange stuff, you'll know what it is. All right, so if you look at the where they start off from, and you kind of do your basic tools, and you outline. Oops, here's my outline. I went past it. It doesn't help. Huh? Block level elements. You can see again we have our rows, which are obviously horizontal, and our columns, which are vertical. Um, they fit 12 across, which would be the complete screen, and then from there you can decide inside of that 12 um, what's the measurements I want things to have. So for instance, now again, I haven't looked at the exact measurements on these. These are probably 8 columns, and this is probably another 4, but they're stacked up side by side to fit one. And if I were to shrink this down, you'll notice that what was 12 probably still became full. Excuse me, what was 8 became full screen, and what was 4 became full screen, but it's stacked on top of each other. Okay, and obviously put whatever you have first as a priority, so that's going to go on top. What's on the side here is going to go underneath. Okay, so that's kind of where we're starting from. All right, so we got these. We got our base start, and what thing I'm going to start with actually is I don't need that Welcome to Zurb Foundation to be the start. I'm going to throw some navigation in here, so we're going to start with that. Well, actually, first thing I'm going to do is put in that Welcome to Zurb into separate columns. Okay, so divot, class. I'm going to do a 4 column. Okay. I'm going to put that in there. Let's shift it over a little bit. Oops. There we go. So again, out of our 12 columns, I used 4 just now. So that means I have 8 more left, and that's where I'm going to throw my navigation. Now, obviously, you can use your navigation. You don't have to use a div navigation. It's unfortunately it's a bad habit for me, but you can use your navigation, your sections, all that stuff like you would typical HTML5 stuff. Okay, all right. Now I'm gonna put in 2 sets of navigation for me. One is going to be for the overall when it's on the desktop, and then one that I have for mobile. So we're going to do UL with, and then I'm going to do LIs. I'm going to do for my desktop For instance, I'm going to do, let's do 5 of them just for giggles. And links. Okay. And then this, just hash it up. Home. About it. If I could spell, it would help. About us. Contacts. Oops. Projects. And I don't know. Let's do like we're on tour, right? We're rock stars, so we're gonna do a tour. All right. So I'll do tour dates. All right. Now for this UL, it's gonna be a little bit different. Again, we want this on for not for phones, basically. Okay. So we're gonna add a class. We're gonna add hide on phones. Okay. And we're going to do another UL set. And say, for instance, on this one, I want to do just 3 of them. Okay. All right. Oops, I accidentally jumped out of it. Now I gotta go back. Hash, and for this, we're going to just do a home, for instance. Contact us, and do let's say we just do projects, so we can have like a sample page. And on this one, obviously we did hide on phones. On this one, we're going to do class show on phones, right? That's the obvious. All right. The only other thing that I want to tell you, when you're doing any of these with Zurb, some of these, because they were not included in the index, and in all honesty, I don't know why they did that. They should, to me, if you're going to do an index, you should have a sample of everything on there. But whatever. So let's jump over to Zurb Foundation just so you kind of see how they do their stuff, their documentation. Especially if you're looking at for their mobile, they already have these nice, you see these nice gradient buttons already here. They already have these pre-outlined for you, and already have, if you look in the CSS file, they already have the CSS for all these already. And obviously you can make more, copy it and then change it to your heart's content. But, in this case, since I already have something called nice blue buttons, I'm going to use the same one, but I just want to show you, use the documentation, this will help you. And so for our home one, it's right on the href. We're going to do class nice blue buttons, or buttons, excuse me, not buttons. And I'm just going to copy that off. Ay, ay, ay. I just did the one for show on phones on hide on phones. That's not what I want. I wanted it only on the phone one, excuse me. Man, I'm having a hard time today. There we go. Alright, let's see. The other thing I should do, I already made a custom sheet in here before, just so that I can have some styles that I already liked, at least for this project. And I already have, sometimes that's can be a pain. There we go. Style sheet. Alright, I'm going to do a href. And we're going to do style sheets and a custom one here. And the reason I have that custom one in here, because I already had some pre-done ones for my top nav. I'm going to call it, well, top nav. And then I'm going to have another one called mobile top nav. And of course, here I just define the margins and the link. I want it as white and such. So let's go back to our index. And where's our navigation? So I'm going to add a class on here. Top nav. And this one I'm going to do mobile top nav. Alright, so let's save that. And let's check out what we kind of have now. Hopefully I didn't screw up somewhere. Yeah, let's see what we have. Okay, so as you can see, we have our nice little navigation up here now. And if you're not familiar with it already, there is a what is it called? Yeah. There's a nice site. Whoops. Oh, I'm sorry. I have a lot of stuff open. I'm very sorry about that. Here we are. If you don't use ScreenFly, you really should. It's an online site which will allow you to check your site for compatibility on different devices. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to grab my thing here. I'm going to go to my ScreenFly site. Go. And as you can see, I have my things here, and I could check it on a phone, and now we have our nice blue buttons like this. Oh, you know what? I think I'm grabbing the wrong one. That's probably just what's called Zurb Foundation, index. Okay. So anyway, so these are what it's going to look like on these, and when we get down to a smaller view, whoa, that's strange. I got to figure out what that is. But you get the general idea about what's going to happen here. It's going to change it so that it looks like something a little bit more usable on, well, of course, this isn't a phone one because I'm using Firefox. So let's grab another. And so you see what it looks like. There you go. So even on Safari, it's pretty good. And I gotta find out what I did there, but that's okay. You get the general idea. So anyway, so that's the first part of that. Next time we're going to look at Reveal and we're going to look at Orb. All right? I'll talk to you later.